iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. I know you're thinking this may be a baseball podcast, but no! Football. Fantasy football podcast I'm going to do today. That's right. I'm bringing out the football. Why? Because we had the first Draftngo Kickoff on PlayScoutFantasy.com. That's right. The Draftngo is great. It's like $35 for the most part. And it's simple. You draft your team and you don't make any changes throughout the year. Draft and go ahead and have fun. 28 rounds, which is pretty deep, by the way. 28 rounds. And you better have enough guys. So you better have 3 or 4 tight ends. You better have at least 2 defenses. You better have at least 2 kickers. You better have 3 quarterbacks. And what happens is each week we take your best lineup. So your best quarterback, your best defense, your best kicker, best 2 running backs, best 3 receivers, best tight end, best 2 flexes. That's what we do. Your best 11. It's great. And to be honest with you, it is the best preparation you can do for your fantasy football drafts come August and September. For $35, you can draft. Your team is set. You don't need to do anything. There's no moves you need to make during the season. And it gives you a mock draft board to see what people are thinking. And who's playing this? People from all abilities. Sharks. Trust me, there's some big sharks out there. At the same time, you got some new guys who want to see what's going on. I like the draft and go concept, and I like it. I know it's May, but I'll tell you this. I would do one in May, June, July, August. I'd do 4. I might do more, but I would do one every month, one every couple of weeks, just to see how things change. And here's what I mean by that. Jamal Charles went in round 10. Maybe if Jamal Charles in July starts to look good and Devontae Booker can't do anything, all of a sudden Jamal Charles becomes around 6th pick. So we will see from this original draft board where things go. How does it begin? It begins in May with what we think is right. Thomas Rawls was a 3rd round pick. Will he be that in September? I tend to doubt it. But today he was a 3rd round pick. Not my 3rd round pick, mind you, but somebody did it. So we can see how this evolves. So I want to go through the teams. I want to see what some of them did, and I want to give you some, we'll take a look together and see who made the best choices, who had the best draft. So I'm not going to call them by their names. I'll just say team 1 through 12. So team 1 starts with David Johnson. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. The first round was Johnson, Bell, Zeke Elliott, Antonio Brown went 4, Beckham 5, Julio Jones 6, Mike Evans 7, AJ Green 8, Jordy Nelson 9, Melvin Gordon 10, Devonta Freeman 11, LaShawn McCoy 12. 6 running backs. 6. In the second round, 3 more running backs went. Gurley, Howard, and Murray. In the third round, Thomas Rawls, Ajayi, Miller, Fournette. In the fourth round, McCaffrey, C.J. Andrew, Carlos Hyde. So by the end of the fourth round, 16 running backs had gone. 16. Very different from the years past, where teams were like, receiver, 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 running back, receiver, 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 receiver. Right? I'll tell you this, though. Team 10, and I know he's a high-stakes guy, big-time high-stakes guy. He went running back, then he went receiver, 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 receiver. I think you're going to see something like that. I think people will take at least one running back. They know they need to. Maybe they don't take 2 or 3, but they'll take one. They'll get one, and then they'll work around it. So team 1 takes David Johnson. In rounds 2 and 3, they take Terrell Pryor and Jarvis Landry. Greg Olsen in 4, Moncrief and Deshaun Jackson. Then Dalvin Cook, Marty B, and Latavius Murray. Then their quarterbacks are rounds 10, 12, and 13, which I kind of like in this format. I don't like an early quarterback in this format, not when it's best ball. So I want to get 3 guys all about the same, and hopefully one of them has a good week, and I get the credit. So this team took Winston in 10, Palmer in 12, Flacco in 13. Makes a lot of sense to me. I like it. Flacco has a good week. You get it. Winston has a good week. Palmer has a good week. Can he win with David Johnson and Cook and Murray? I think so, yeah. David Johnson's the best. And Cook and Murray, one of those guys will emerge. His receivers are Pryor, Landry, Moncrief, Deshaun Jackson, and Shepard from the Giants. And then you've got Olsen and Bennett. That's a good team. That team was constructed very nicely. I love getting Dalvin Cook in round 7. Guy could be real deal. Real deal. Second team took Le'Veon Bell, and then took Doug Baldwin, Allen Robinson, Larry Fitzgerald, Isaiah Crowell, Joe Mixon, Corey Davis, Mike Williams. Then in round 9, Drew Brees. Right? Perriman, Gio Bernard, Taylor. Really trust Taylor, the quarterback from Buffalo? Really? Tyrod, you really trust Tyrod? And then O.J. Howard, Jason Witten. I don't know if I like the tight ends, but Bell, Crowell, and Mixon, pretty good. Baldwin, Robinson, Fitzgerald, Davis, and Williams. Look, and Perriman, right? Perriman's a really good player. I think people are going to sleep on him. But Rashad Perriman was, let me look at the numbers here. One moment, please. Last year, 500 yards receiving. But there were some pretty good weeks there from weeks 13 on. 2 for 59, 3 for 52, 3 for 32, 4 for 62. He was coming on. He was coming on there. So I like that. I like getting Breeze in round 9 as well. Nice team. Pick 3 had Elliott, Brandon Cooks, Roto, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why anybody takes a quarterback in round 3. I don't know. Brandon Marshall in 4. Hate that pick. Marshawn Lynch in 5. Jordan Matthews, Delaney Walker, Jeremy Maclin, James White, Jamal Charles, Ross Stills, Dotson. I like Josh Dotson. That's nice. I love Elliott and Lynch. Love Elliott and Lynch. Cooks, Marshall, Matthews, me no likey. I don't like Brandon Marshall that much. Not when you have Beckham, who you must feed. Shepard, Engram? Is Marshall a 4th round pick? I don't think so. I could be off on that, though, but I don't think so. So that team's got some work to do. Then their second quarterback was Watson. Sean Watson. I don't know about that. All right, the 4th team. Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Thomas Rawls, Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck in the 4th round? That dude should be going like round 9. Randall Cobb, CJ Prosise, John Brown, Alan Hearns, Fleener, Marlon Mack, and Gore. This team's got what we call issues. Rawls, Prosise, Mack, and Gore. Really? What if Eddie Lacy's the guy? Brown, Hopkins, Cobb, and John Brown, I like. But Fleener? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not loving this team. Next team, Team 5. Odell Beckham, D'Angelo Murray, Demaryius Thomas, Michael Crabtree, Thomas Brady, Ware, Graham Thielen, Eifert, Bilal Powell, Cole Beasley, Bortles, Wentz. So the receivers are Beckham, Thomas, Crabtree, Thielen, Beasley. Nothing wrong with that. Running backs are Murray and Ware and Powell, who really would have liked Henry somewhere. Really would have liked Derrick Henry to cover that. Derrick Henry went in the 10th round. I would have liked this guy to have done that. I guess Ware makes sense, but I'm not loving him. Like getting Brady for sure. All right, the next team goes Jones, Gronkowski, Keenan Allen, Roto, who's now a 3rd round pick, Carlos Hyde, Bryant Decker, Devontae Parker, Eddie Lacy, Russell Wilson. Then later on Rivers, then it was Hill, Hunt, Lewis, Stewart for some running backs later. So this team was very traditional in their out of the first 7 rounds, they had a 4th round running back, 1 tight end in Gronk, and everybody else is a receiver. That's old school, right? It's not really old school. It's what we did last year. How old is that? But Jones, Allen, Bryant, Decker, Parker. I don't know how I feel about Martavis Bryant. Love Jones and Allen. Gronk, nothing not to like. Hyde, I'm worried about. Eddie Lacy, I'm worried about. There's a buffet in Seattle. He's probably munching down there right now. All right, the next team, I like his team name, Never Drafting Again. Mike Evans, Jordan Howard, Alshon Jeffrey, Julian Edelman, Tyreek Hill, Ty Montgomery, Rudolph, Danny Woodhead, Kevin White, Peterson, Kamara, Manning, Tannehill. I like that team. Evans, Jeffrey, Edelman, Tyreek Hill, Kevin White. That's nice. Jordan Howard, Montgomery, Woodhead. This team's got no problem. Manning, Tannehill. It's exactly what you want. Manning, Tannehill. One of those guys turns out to be good each week. You're good to go. If they both suck in a given week, you got issues. The next team. A.J. Green, Amari Cooper, Jay Ajayi, C.J. Anderson, Emmanuel Sanders, Doug Martin, Ertz, Gillislee, Cam Newton, Austin Fuller. So I love starting out Green, Cooper, and Ajayi, but C.J. Anderpuke, Emmanuel Sanders with that quarterback issue, Doug Martin, Zach Ertz, Mike Gillislee. I mean, is Mike Gillislee the main guy? Who knows? Cam Newton, you trust Cam Newton? I don't. I think this team's got issues. All right, Team 9, Jordy Nelson, Todd Gurley, Lamar Miller, Jordan Reed, Stephon Diggs, Kelvin Benjamin, Matty Ryan in round 7, Pierre Garçon, Taylor Gabriel, Zay Jones, R. Kelly. This team's got issues. Gurley, Miller, and R. Kelly, that ain't going to get you something. Miller could be replaced by Foreman. R. Kelly could be replaced by Perrine, for sure. I like Gurley, but do I love him? Yeah, no. Nelson, Diggs, Benjamin, Garçon, Gabriel, Zay Jones. I think this team's got issues. Issues. All right, this next team. Like this team here. Gordon, Dez, Watkins, Tate, Crowder, Coleman. Perkins, Abdullah, Riddick. Hunter Henry. Oh, love Hunter Henry. Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford. So, Prescott and Stafford is great in rounds 11 and 12. The running backs are Melvin Gordon, Paul Perkins. He got Blunt later in case. Abdullah and Riddick. So you have the Detroit Lions running game. You've got the Giants running game if they sign Blunt. And you got Gordon. Then your receivers are Bryant, Watkins, Tate, Crowder, Coleman. Yeah, that's nice. Then you got Henry and Brait. This team's got a very good chance. There's a good team there. I like Team 1, and I like this team so far. All right, Team 11, Devonta Freeman, T.Y. Hilton, Devonta Adams, Christian McCaffrey, Cameron Meredith, Rashard Matthews, Mark Ingram, Kenneth Dixon, Kenny Britt, Henry, Doyle, Cousins. Yeah, got issues. Here's the issues. I like Freeman. I like McCaffrey. Mark Ingram, there's Peterson. Dixon's going to miss the first 4 weeks. Hilton, I like. Devonta Adams, really? Cameron Meredith, I know there's nobody there, but do you trust him? Rashard Matthews with Corey Davis, Kenny Britt with Corey Coleman. I don't know. A lot of issues in this team. Not loving it. And then Team 12 takes LaShawn McCoy, Michael Thomas, Leonard Fournette, Travis Kelce, Tevin Coleman. Willie Snead, Marvin Jones, Mike Wallace, Tyler Lockett, Duke Johnson, Mariota, and Carr. I love Mariota and Carr. McCoy, Fournette, and Tevin Coleman and Duke Johnson I can live with. Michael Thomas and Snead, you've got the Saints attack. Marvin Jones, Wallace, Lockett. All you need is one guy to show up there and you're not bad. Not a bad team. I think teams 1 and 10 are the best. I can live with 12. But what did we see here? We saw that people value guys differently, and it's May. So what happens is, imagine that fantasy football drafts are like this sculpture. And right now, this is a block of, granite. We chisel, 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 until we figure out what it looks like. Do we like Corey Coleman in round 5 or round 6? How about Mike Wallace? How about Kenny Britt? Values change. People's thoughts change. OTAs, camp, reports, maybe a good article written by somebody at Scout Fantasy to change our minds. These things help us adapt and move forward. Because trust me, this board that we see here will look nothing like the board that I'll be doing in Las Vegas in September. And the beautiful thing about Las Vegas in September is by the time those boards come out, I can pretty much tell you within 3 picks when a guy's going. So you say a guy to me, Kelvin Benjamin, I tell you is going between, 5th round, pick 7 and 5th round, pick 11. Boom. I'll know it. Now I have no idea what people are thinking. By September, we'll have a clear idea of what people are thinking. We'll have watched preseason. We'll have listened to the coaches, listened to the players, listened to the analysts. Listened, learned, observed. Listened to the beat writers. Guys who are watching the team all the time. So I like this first draft. I see a lot of value there. Hunter Henry in round 10? Sign me up. Sign me up. Right? Will he be there in round 10 in Vegas? I doubt it. But he is in May. That's why some people draft now. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to scoutfantasy.com. I want you to enter the promo code ROTO. That's right, ROTO. You pay for 1 month. We'll get you 2 more for free. Sean Childs said today on our SiriusXM Fantasy Show, he started to work on football. That's exciting. The draft's taking place. I've already done my first dynasty draft. It was only a 6-round rookie draft, but I'm getting in tune. We're going to figure it out. We want you to be part of the Scout Army, be part of what we're doing at Scout. It's exciting stuff. All right, guys, wishing you a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!